So welcome to coming home to your body and the warm-up. So let's drop inside our bodies once more. So our preparation, our warm-up techniques. We need to understand the significance of preparation within a class structure. So remembering our building blocks, we need to, what do we use the warm-up for? So we use the warm-up to loosen up on a physical level, getting the energy moving, becoming present on the mental level, leaving behind that everyday thinking, undoing inhibitions on an emotional level, getting used to being in a group and stepping into the unknown. So the warm-up creates a space for stepping into the possibility of transformation, getting used to being in a group, stepping into the unknown, letting go of identification with conditioned labels, moving beyond the small self, letting go of self-judgment and judging others, finding compassion for ourselves, slowly dropping into the body. We find forgiveness for ourselves for all the shoulds we haven't managed to do since the last times we moved our bodies. And then we are grounded in reality. We come into presence, not thinking. So how the body tells a story, energy gets stuck in the body. Thoughts and feelings have an effect on the biochemicals in the body, well-being, health, energy, and aging. They can either be toxic or life-giving consciousness. Whenever we have an emotion, it arises in response to something that is either triggered by an external or triggered by the internal thoughts. And it has an effect on our body's chemistry. We all know the fight or flight response that can be triggered in any situation that brings up fear in us. This highly adrenalized state is one of the many biochemicals that our body can produce, and we can get addicted to our chemical reactions. And so this often attracts similar situations so that it feeds these chemicals. And we'll look at this in more detail in the following stages. So resistance versus softening, shallow versus the full breath. So many of us are walking around not fully or deeply breathing. So this could be as an unconscious reaction to previous pain, or can come from bad posture and a lack of lung expanding exercises. Either way, it suppresses our whole system and keeps us closed down to flowing with what life has to offer. So if this continues, we create armoring. Avoidance of the full depth of feelings, pain, hurt, unexpressed emotions, stress, negative self-limiting beliefs, doing in the head versus being in the body. Armoring happens over time when we habitually close ourselves down by not breathing properly and or are full of unresolved emotions. You can see it in the way people move, sit, talk, look at you. This guardedness, if left to continue, is what leads to dis-ease. So how do we release this armoring? Well, we have the physical. You remember in the last module, we were talking about the effects of movement, breath, rhythm, and meditation on the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual aspects. So let's just recap that quickly. So movement relaxes the muscles, increases the blood flow and the oxygen, releases toxins through the lymphatic system, enhances the endocrine and organ function. The breath brings in oxygen, energy, life force, moving from being stuck in the head into the heart, into the now, facilitating a rebalancing of brain-body communion with spirit and oneness. And then awareness, so our presence, our love, being fully here now with how you feel, what is happening. It allows this hurt to start to surface and forgiveness to happen. So how do we read the story of the body? So everything you do, how you sit, you move, stand, all shows the habitual state of your beingness in the world. The body cannot lie. And each part of the body can have an underlying theme or part of the story. So our feet are the foundations. They connect us to the earth, grounding, stability, security, safety. Are we fully here? Have we got both feet on the ground? Feet also give us direction and purpose. How do people move? What might you notice about people's feet? Are they heavy-footed, light-footed, pointed inwards, pointed outwards, sliding across the floor? Have they got dropped arches, or are they flat-footed? Notice how people walk, how people move. A lot can be seen in people's feet. Do they drag their heels, or is there a spring in their step? Notice the shape of the feet. Are they different from each other? Which is the dominant foot? And then we move on to our knees. So here we have our flexibility, our change, our humility. It's all about being able to move in all directions. And also playfulness, decision-making, which direction to take. And springing from all of this, in my own experience, a sense of belonging can be found in the knees. Often the knees are the first place to get arthritis and stiffness as people grind to a halt in their thinking and close down to experiencing life. Knee pain is common when people are wondering what direction to take or getting ready to take a new one. Next, our legs. So our legs are like our root system. What is our position in life? How do we stand up to a challenge? What shape are our legs? Sometimes you notice that people might have quite thick thighs. This is often an indication of stubbornness or holding one's ground, a need to be right. Other things you might notice are general agility and an ability to move easily. Or the opposite, having thick set, stubborn legs that hold their ground and have to be right. I just said that. So next, let's move into the pelvis and buttocks. This is lower hips, belly. Here lies the seat of our creation and our creativity. This is the doorway between the lower and the upper worlds. Emotions, sexuality, energy, creative life force. It's all stored here around the pelvis, and conversely, our ability to let go. The main organs of illumination are here. So notice how people move. Are you able to let go, or do you have to maintain control? Are the buttocks clenched? There may be some fear of sexual energy. If there's been sexual abuse or oppression, this either may be seen as complete rigidity in this area, or the complete opposite, expressing sexuality with no boundaries. Next, we move into the spine. So our support system, how we bend and flow with life. There are many nerve clusters along the spine that all relate to the chakra system. And it is the superhighway for the whole nervous system, allowing the body to move in life. In traditional Chinese medicine, each tooth is connected to a different vertebrae, and each vertebrae is connected to an organ, gland, or body part. As a result, all of this connectivity, you can tell a lot about someone just by noticing the spine. How do they bend and flow? Is there flexibility? In yoga, they say age is measured by the flexibility of the spine. If there is pain, a rudimentary knowledge of the chakra system will let you know how the place of the pain is related to their unexpressed emotions. So next we move up into the chest. So this is the meeting place of emotions, feelings, and thoughts. Integration happens here, opening and closing to the world, giving and receiving. The chest cavity contains the heart and the lungs. So you may notice how people are in their chest. What is their breath like? There may be slightly drooping of one shoulder over the heart, protecting those unexpressed feelings of vulnerability. Next, we move into our shoulders. So our attitude to responsibility, how we take on the world. Notice people's shoulder shapes. Are they square or are they hunched? Do they droop or are they heavy or rounded? Do you suffer from shoulder pain? What is your attitude to responsibility? Then we move on to the arms and hands, how we reach out, hold on, take and give. Arms are all about giving and receiving, cooperation, not condemnation. How do people reach out, hold on, give, receive? Notice if you or other people have nervous hands around you, always fiddling with something. It's a sure sign if someone's smoking or on their phone, doing things with their hands all the time, that they've got some trapped energies going on around the heart. And then our neck and head, moving up to how we face the world, how we look out. The neck is this interface between the heart and the brain, and it is also where we vocalize our truth from. So we can notice how people talk with their facial expressions. Are they babbling or talking slowly? What shape is our neck? Is it long and slender or thick set? How do we face the world? Is the head heavy and drooping or held high? Do they have laughter lines or frown lines? Can they look you in the eye? It's said that the eyes are the windows of the soul. So if someone can give you a open-gazed look, then they are much more likely to be in connection with their joy and their heart and their love for life. So all the above seems to be how the body stores information. It's systematic and quite logical. And also energetically, we say that the left side is the feminine side and the pain is based in fear, and the right side is masculine and the pain is based in anger. So this is a generalization, but I can tell you after doing this for many years, these generalizations are really useful to get into the deeper picture of something. So now we're really exploring the edge. We're bound to come up against some resistance. So what are the signs of resistance? There's a few that we've identified, and there's probably a few hundred more. So, but pain, low energy, internally complaining about the music, tiredness, needing to drink, go to the toilet, judgment, really anything that stops you from getting into the body, mostly created in the mind, and moving beyond this resistance leads to release and expansion and growth and freedom on all levels. So your body is a gateway to spirit, and it can be accessed through the process of ecstatic awakening dance. The body is a bioportal into your multi-dimensional nature, into the quantum field. This intelligent field of awareness with a blueprint for higher health. Access to this field means that we often realize that actually all is well and perfectly in alignment, however our current status seems to be. This leads to a surrender on all level, which appears often to bring us into alignment with this higher blueprint of health, thus creating miracles of healing to happen. Our body is a doorway, form into formlessness. The deeper you bring your awareness into this form, the closer you get to the unlimited dimensions of consciousness, who you really are, your essential nature. And then we enter into this state of liberation and ecstasy. And your body, of course, is a sacred vessel for your soul. Honoring the body as a vehicle for God's work, however you see God as, I like to say, Sophia's work. Loving yourself by loving your body and knowing you are so much more. Making conscious choices in what, when, how you move, how you eat, how you breathe. You go from this horizontal reality to the vertical reality and perspective of health. So everything's happening now in this moment. In other words, so taking absolute responsibility of your body, which equals freedom. And the way that we can do that is really to cultivate an attitude of gratitude and know that the power of love has no limits. The keys are always, when journeying into the unknown, presence, openness, and love. And when we do this warm-up technique over and over again, we're training our minds to really come home to the body, to love the body, to understand and love our beautiful, amazing bodies in this lifetime. So it really is a gift to oneself.